Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name's Andy and this is Paintings by Andy Currie-Scarr. In today's video you'll be following along with me doing a painting on a coaster of a crow. Painted in acrylics. Hopefully this leads to further understanding of my painting, and generally I just hope you enjoy the video. So I'll be painting with a very minimal colour palette today. I'm going to be using three colours, that being ultramarine blue, burnt umber and white. Very quick, very simple, but going through a range of shades, tones to create the bird itself. Now, depending on whether or not it's going to have warmer areas, there'll be more brown, and if it's going to have the cooler areas, like in the shadows, it will be more touch to the blue. I've done videos like this before, but not with such a very limited colour palette, so I'm hoping you'll learn quite a bit from this. Now, as this is a small coaster, 10 by 10 centimetres, we won't be spending too much time on it, and like my other videos, I'll be spending about 30 to 35 minutes on each. We'll have something that's rather nice as an outcome, I think, and hopefully you may even try this at home. The blank coasters that I use, I bought and can supply the link below. I've also been doing a bit of research and found a better varnish that is durable and heat resistant like the last, but doesn't have the yellow tarnish to it that the other varnish did, which added to the white, if you had any white in your actual paintings, and kind of made it a little bit yellowy. I have been creating quite a few videos recently, so if you haven't seen them already, please like and subscribe and you'll be up to date with any new content that I add. I do have a website as well, full of paintings, past and present, which you can have a look at, and I do have a shop. The link for that will be in the description, so please have a look if you're interested. Please give the video a like if you found it interesting or just enjoyed watching it. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. So without further ado, practice makes perfect, so let's get painting. Okay, again I apologise for the quality of the video. Unfortunately, I was using a low quality camera and then I had to zoom in, which is why it looks a bit nasty. You still see the detail, but the quality isn't fantastic, so I will improve this on the next one. So straight away, going in with the darkest tones possible. I may need to make these darker later, but yeah, it's first just to get those in, just so that I have the darkest areas. And now I'm working in with some mid-tones and some light tones. So just trying to get in some of the lightest areas, just to make a definition between what's the brightest parts and what's the darkest parts. And then I start to fill in between. So getting some other tones in with these darker tones, changing between adding a little bit more brown or a little bit more blue, depending on whether I want the tones to be cool coloured or warm coloured. Brown at making it look a bit warmer, and blue making it look a bit cooler. So the colours that I'm actually using here are quite basic. There's just two colours. It's burnt umber, which is like a brown, and ultramarine blue, which is obviously blue. Now the photograph obviously is a lot darker, it's almost black in terms of the really dark areas, but I tend not to use black because it's not really a colour in terms of from a painting point of view, and I don't really want to start adding colours like blue to black because they don't really look nice when you start using black. It muddies the colour up, so I'm just sticking to actual colours and mixing those instead. So it's not going to be a true representation in terms of colour to the photograph, but it's an artistic impression and I want to use what I normally use in a painting, and these two colours to make a dark colour are what I use. So, working back in, some highlights. The majority of this video is going to be just trying to find a balance between the high colours, so the lightest areas, and the contrast of the really nice dark areas that are in the photograph, and getting that point across. Secondly, I'm going to be trying to get some different marks in there, going in different directions to create some interest, but also make the form, the shape of the feathers and the bird actually look realistic. So I'm just adding some marks in of the dark areas on where the feathers will be, I suppose you could call them, yeah, because I'm mapping out where I need to add lighter colours onto that. So adding a little bit of detail in with those lights to make that eye pop against that dark area around it. I did have quite a bit of an issue with this one because I used a bit of tape to stick it to my easel and it kept falling off, so it does move around quite a bit, which I apologise for. Okay, so filling in between those nice dark shadowed areas, getting some nice sweeping brush marks to create the body to those feathers, the shape. And work back into them afterwards and add a bit of detail. It is starting to look a little bit more refined, but also still has quite a painterly feel to it, which I'm enjoying. I've gone and filled most of it in now and work back on top of it with the lighter tones, as I thought this would be easier. Getting in the dark areas in between and then working back with single brush marks with lighter colours on top to define those feathers, those shiny parts of the feathers. Seems to work a bit better. Because I only have 30 to 35 minutes on these paintings, I'm making quick decisions as I go, using knowledge that I have had from previous paintings, but yeah, working fast because I know I don't have a huge amount of time. And I'm not aiming for it to look exactly like the painting, so yeah, I'm really just working as much as I can to make it look like feathers, have some texture, and adding some of those light areas back in now. Finishing touches. Adding my signature, I feel like I've finished the painting. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you've got any questions, feel free to put them in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.